I've always been fascinated by the unknown. The internet is a vast and often terrifying place, and the dark web, it's a whole different world. For years I'd heard the stories, hitmen for hire, illegal experiments, human trafficking, but also the weird stuff. The things that didn't quite fit into any category. Cursed objects, ritual services, and of course the infamous mystery boxes. I never thought I'd actually order one, but boredom does strange things to a man. I had just moved to a new city, far away from family and old friends, working a monotonous IT job that kept me indoors most of the time. My apartment was small, just enough space for a bed, a desk, and a tiny kitchenette. It was the kind of place that felt temporary, like I was just passing through. Nights were lonely. One evening, after one too many drinks, I stumbled onto a forum discussing dark web mysteries. The thread was filled with people posting pictures of bizarre items they had received. Blood-stained dolls, VHS tapes with no labels, cryptic notes scrawled on torn paper. Some claimed their boxes contained real human remains. Most of it was probably fake, but the thrill of the unknown called to me. I found a link. A store with no name, no description, just a black screen and a single button, Buy Now. The price was ridiculous, $500 for a box with an unknown assortment of items. But in that moment, fueled by alcohol and reckless curiosity, I didn't care. I entered my crypto wallet details, hit confirm, and shut my laptop. I half expected nothing to happen or for the money to vanish into the void. But 3 days later, I received an email. Your package is on its way. And then, late one night, it arrived. The package was plain, nondescript, sealed with thick black tape. No return address, no markings, nothing but my name, scrawled in uneven handwriting. I hadn't expected it so soon. I thought it would be filled with cheap trinkets, fake horror props, maybe a plastic skull or a creepy doll. But as I sat there staring at it, something felt wrong. The air in my apartment was heavy, oppressive, as if the box itself exuded an unseen weight. My fingers trembled slightly as I reached for the knife and sliced through the tape. The flaps popped open with a soft rustling sound, revealing a layer of crumpled newspaper, old and yellowed. The ink had smudged, the words unreadable. I dug through the paper, my breath shallow, heart pounding. And then I found it. A single sheet of paper, folded neatly, placed on top of what looked like a bundle of rags. My hands felt clammy as I unfolded it. We know where you live. A chill shot down my spine. I reread the words, my mind struggling to process. The handwriting was erratic, almost frantic, the letters jagged and uneven. A prank? Some sick joke? My mouth went dry as I tossed the note aside and reached deeper into the box. The rags weren't rags at all. They were clothes. My clothes. The hoodie I had lost months ago. A pair of socks I had thrown out. My stomach twisted. Someone had been in my apartment. I shoved the box away, my breath coming fast and shallow. My eyes darted to my locked door, the bolted windows. Had they been watching me? How long had they been watching? Sleep was impossible that night. Every creak, every rustling leaf outside set me bolting upright, my pulse hammering. Shadows moved where they shouldn't, paranoia creeping into my veins like poison. I tried to tell myself it was a joke, a coincidence, but deep down, I knew better. They were watching me. By the third night, I was unraveling. I barely ate. I barely slept. I would catch glimpses of figures standing just beyond the streetlights outside my apartment, unmoving, their silhouettes distorted in the dim glow. Footsteps echoed in the hallway at odd hours, stopping just outside my door. I went to the police. The officer at the desk barely stifled a yawn as I stammered my story, waving the note at him. "It's probably just a prank, sir," he said, his tone dismissive. "Change your locks. Get a security camera." "You don't understand," I pleaded. "They've been in my apartment. They left my clothes in that box. They know where I—" "Sir," he cut me off. "Unless there's actual evidence of a crime, there's nothing we can do." I left feeling more alone than ever. That night, I heard them inside. A soft shuffle. The sound of something brushing against my kitchen counter. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would explode. I didn't move. I barely breathed. The darkness around me felt alive, pulsing, shifting. And then came the whisper. So close, so near. "We see you." I lunged for the light switch, but the room was empty. Nothing disturbed. No signs of entry. My front door was still locked. Yet I knew, without a doubt, I was no longer alone. The attack came the next night. I was heading to my car, gripping my keys so tightly they dug into my palm. The paranoia had become unbearable. I needed to leave, to get away. I barely made it 3 steps before they struck. Shadows lunged from the alleyway. 3, maybe 4 figures, masked, clad in dark clothing. Pain exploded in my ribs as something hard slammed into me. I hit the pavement, gasping, my vision blurring. Hands grabbed at me, dragging me toward the alley. I kicked, flailed, my fingers scrambling for anything, a rock, a shard of glass, anything to fight back. A blade slashed across my forearm. I screamed, white-hot pain searing through me. The world tilted, my head swimming. But adrenaline is a powerful thing. I lashed out blindly, my fist connecting with a jaw, a grunt, a stumble. I took my chance and ran. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. My lungs burned, my legs screamed in protest. But I kept running, half blind with terror. My apartment was the only place I knew, the only sanctuary I had left. I slammed the door shut behind me, locking every bolt, every chain, my chest heaving. My arm was bleeding badly, crimson soaking through my sleeve. But I didn't care. I needed to leave. Now. I stuffed whatever I could into a bag, grabbed my keys, and staggered to my car. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely get the key into the ignition. The engine roared to life. Relief flooded me. I was getting out. A cold, sharp pressure touched my throat. I froze. A reflection in the rearview mirror, a figure in the back seat. A mask, a grotesque, bird-like visage, beak curved into a cruel grin. "Drive," the voice rasped. Time slowed. My heart stuttered. My mouth opened, but no sound came out. The blade pressed harder, biting into my skin. Then everything was black. No one ever found me. They found my car, abandoned by the roadside, the driver's seat soaked in blood. They found my apartment, ransacked, the mystery box still sitting on the floor. But me? I was gone. And somewhere, deep in the darkness, they were watching. Still watching.